So first of all, welcome to this session that is taking your code to next level with open source, basically Git and GitHub. So after this session, if you gain some experience or something else, you can just share your experience on Twitter or any social media by tagging me on at the Pulkit Singh Dev. And yeah, so my name is Pulkit Singh, and I'm a 13 years old self-taught programmer. So I'm currently passionately contributing towards communities, open source as well as hackathons. And currently, I'm working as an author at FreeCodeCamp.org, and even I'm one of the 162nd event ambassador at DeepLearning.ai. So apart from this, I have been giving, you can say, sessions on basically open source only at various, you can say, conferences and etc. So it's like even I have been contributing in 50 plus communities as well as hackathons, and like you can see, I have 4 to 5 of my own communities as well, which include programmers, seniors, and group and etc. So now let us get started with our session. So basically, when we talk about open source, it's something like you can say any project or software's original code is made freely available and maybe you can say redistributed and modified according to the requirement of the user, or maybe you can say some other folks can contribute in it so that the project's owner can gain some more features on their project, right? So it's like basically programmers have more control over that kind of software and can examine the code to make sure it's not doing anything you don't want it to do, and even likely fix they all can fix the bugs as well. But what about others? It's like open source is for everyone, and even though if you are someone who is from who doesn't have any you can say any background in tech field, even they can get started with open source and can gain very much experience as well. So like for others, you can make your own projects, blogs, etc., and make it open source, and even let others to contribute in it and even make some changes in it. And yeah, there are many more advantage, and even in the last, if possible, if I get some time, I will try to include some of the programs that even open source, not like other open source programs that you can take benefits from. So it's like you have some other advantages, like you can get you get a very large community of like-minded, inspiring people, and yeah, you even get some essential support and help there. So basically, I will be now telling you what is Git and GitHub, and by likely differentiating both of them. And it's like Git and GitHub are one of the platforms that majority of the developers or programmers use for getting started with open source. So yeah, let's get started with it. So first of all, what is Git? So in simple words, Git is a version control system, and it can be used with various tools or locally on your computer to help you track of changes in your code projects as well. And you can maybe like think of like a Google Docs for code but better, right? And in the same way, GitHub is a platform for code collaboration, and GitHub uses the Git for the version control and provides you all these sorts of, you can say, awesome collaboration tool. And even likely we have got some new features in it that I would be including to take your code to next level. And apart from this, basically you can say GitHub is a cloud platform for working on your open source project. So now let us discuss why we need version control here. So like I will tell you it through through an example. Like while you are freelancing, you get a client and like you are developing a website, and at that moment, like you create all the things that the user wants, and then he or she tells that he needs some other updates in it, and you just do it, and after that he says that the past one was better and he wants the past one only. So at that moment you won't be able to get this the last version of it, right? So for this we have version control system that can help you in having all the versions of your, you can say, code and anything, and it will help you by just not having it in one file, but it will even not create other files for version control. It will have the same, and it will continue versioning your code or any project, right? So like collaborators can work in parallel and even merge their changes automatically instead of manually comparing and the differences between a file, right? So yeah, first of all, let's make an account there on GitHub. So if you are a student like me, I would you all can go on to this link, that is education.github.com, and if you are someone who is a developer or something like that, you can go on with github.com, and I would probably prefer to go with github.com first, because you will need to create an account there first, and then you can go with any other things. So now let us explore GitHub here. So just let me stop my screen share once and reshare it to the another screen. Mm, just a second. Yeah. I guess it's now visible to you all. Can anyone give me the confirmation once?
Yes, Pulkit, it's visible.
Yeah, it's now visible too. Yeah. So like this is the main website you get into once you have logged in or signed in to the GitHub. And basically, now let us explore it and become more friendly with the UI of it. So first we have a pull request tab where we create pull request for contributing in other projects. So basically, pull request means something like like you want to contribute in someone else's project, and you just change some of the codes of it and just ask for taking your code in the main project as well. And after that, you can see issues tab as well. It's something like same, just like people create an issue that there is some bug in in the project, or something like you can say something related to it, right? So this is for the same. And then we have marketplace here that probably helps you in integrating some of the apps and actions. So basically GitHub Actions is something I very love, and it's like best way of getting started with automation. Even it's like you can go on with automation in GitHub as well. So after that we have explore tab where we can explore some of others projects as well, and then a search tab for searching some of the projects, and then now we have a notification tab for seeing all the notifications. I have cleared the all, and then a plus sign for creating a new repository, meaning a project, and importing a repository the same way. And then we have new guest organizations, so we can even create some organization and even likely new projects. So projects are something different from repository that I will be including here after some time. So now let us see, like here we go with our profile. Like once we click on this navbar, we get to our profile. Then we have our own repositories, then code spaces, which I really love. And basically I guess many of you all would be like more knowing about, if you are a developer you would be used to with VS Code, right? So currently I am not having that much access on it, since I just cleared the all access, since it's a you can say beta feature for right now, but would be developing more. And yeah, just let's wait for some more updates in it, right? So at that moment you can see like GitHub has collaborated with VS Code to bring up you something, GitHub code spaces where you can work the same like VS Code online on the online platform, and even use the Git there as well. So this is something I really love, but currently I don't have that much access to it. So yeah, let's wait for more development in it. Then we have some of the organizations, like I'm in the part of many, so let us skip this right now. So then we come to projects. So basically, when we talk about repositories, it's something like you can say your main code base and something like a software. But when we come to a project, it's something like you have a project and you are using that software for creating this project. Like I was currently working on some of the one, and yeah, it's something like even to-do list, or even we have some of the other software for the same, but GitHub has already included it here. So yeah, that was it for knowing about this, and then we have your sponsors. That's something about, even you can get some sponsor from others for your project as well. And then yeah, like you can even work on some of the other things. I won't be getting into the other stuff since it may leak my data. So let me just get back to our main slide again. So let's stop the screen share once, reshare it, and yeah, it's now shared. Yeah. So now let us get started with the developer workflow. So before we get started, I want to include one thing, that is, if you want to get started with command line interface or even a development work, I would probably recommend it for getting started with Git and GitHub, since they if you being consistent on that platform, I can probably tell that you will be able to get the understanding of how the collaboration works in a team. You will be even understanding the main command line interfaces and how the backend works, and even the worst core concepts you can even ever think, right? So now let us understand the developer workflow here. So first, you will need to fork someone else code for contributing in others project. Like a forks is something like your own copy of someone else repository, and then you will need to create a branch. The branch is a parallel version of your copy where you will test your own changes, right? So like branches, as I already included, making a branch allows you to edit code without accidentally breaking the working version of that software. So now you will need to stage your changes as you go. When you are happy with them, you will commit them. And basically, stage means add to cohesive or a group or bundles of revisions, and commit is something like a group of revisions you want to officially add to your branch. So if you want to add your code to someone else's project, you will open a pull request, and if they approve it, they will merge your branch into their master branch. So here merge means to officially add the changes from your local branch to the master branch or the main branch of the repository, right? So great. And yeah, that's how you work with Git and GitHub. So let us try this practically on GitHub. So network activity workflow, like first of all, you will need to fork the repository you want to contribute in it. I have just given an example here. And note, this is only necessary if you are not a collaborator on the project, or it's your own project. It's only if you want to contribute in someone else's project where you don't have the access. So now you will create a branch like something like this and etc. And you should always try to name branches with your name and what you are doing, so that even the, you can say, the owners and the code maintainers can understand what you are doing there. And then open the any of the file you want to contribute in it, and select the edit icon that would be available to you at the right corner side, and it looks something like a pencil. So add the name of add the code and the changes you want to make in, and then scroll to the bottom to commit the changes section, and just click on it. And if you want to add a descriptive message, and select commit changes. Now you will return to the main page of your repo and just select pull request. And because this is a simple pull request, you can simply create a pull request. If you were contributing to an open source project, you would want to be very descriptive about the changes you want, since when you contribute in open source projects, it's necessary to write all the description of what you have made the changes, etc., so that the maintainers can just understand what you have did, and then they can check the changes, right? And even it gives some good effect to the maintainers about you as well. So then after that, ask someone else to comment on your PR, and you should also comment on someone else's PR too, since it's not only about contributing in others' projects, but even letting others to contribute in yours, right? So you can find other pull requests by selecting the pull request tab on the repos homepage. And yep, this is what a pull request looks like for someone who has write access to a repo. The organizer of this workshop will likely merge the pull request, and your changes would be added in it. And like in between, it's like something common in while contributing if in any of the projects is like when a file has multiple edits, right? It can be unclear which change should be committed, and this is where a conflict happens in the GitHub itself. So here I will be providing you with a conflict resolution. So for that, just go to your commit you have done, and just remove the code like showing with this markdown, and then you can just remove that up, and then you are good to just commit it up, and it will most probably resolve the your conflict. And yeah, amazing. So now you know how to work with GitHub in the browser, right? The next section will teach you how to use GitHub on the command line on your computer, which is something really awesome, and really it even includes some of the really core concepts. So yeah, so first, once you start working on projects that are more complex, you might find that you prefer using your own local coding environment with GitHub, right? So let's learn how to set that up. And first, you will need to install Git. So here when you need to contribute in open source project through Git, you will just need to install it. If you have already installed, you just need to check it once by typing git dash dash version in your terminal or any of the terminal application. So after that, it should show some output like this. If it's not something like that, then this means you don't have Git installed in your device. So for that, just go to this URL, that is mlhlocalhost/install git. And if you do not have Git installed, navigate through the URL above and just select your operating system. Basically, it's now available for Mac OS, Windows, Linux, as well as Unix. So open the installer and follow the instructions. It should be fine to select all of the default options. Open the installer and follow the instructions. It should be fine to select all the default options, but except for the one below that you can see here. We recommend choosing your preferred text editor in this step, but yeah, even it's up to you. So after that, restart your terminal or PowerShell or git bash and run the command below again. So after that, it would probably show the version of your Git, and this means you have installed Git in your you can say device. So yeah, awesome and great one. So let me just check the comment section once if we have some of the doubts in between. So yeah, even you all can just note down your comments questions, and then in the last we can have for 5 to 10 minutes Q&A session as well. So after this, you will need to configure Git by just entering git config dash dash recover user name, and then you will need to enter your username of GitHub, and then same for configuring your email address with git config dash dash global user dot email, and then your email ID. So you can use the two commands below to likely double check that you have set this up. So just enter git config user.name or git config user.email, and it would enter up the same stuff you have given the input in the last slides, right? So now let's cover some useful commands of it. And the workflow from the command line has few added steps compared to using GitHub. So you can clone any repository you have access to using git clone, and then you can create a branch with git branch name, after that the name of the branch. Now after you make changes, you will use git add to stage your changes. So basically, clone means to copy a repository to your computer, but not the same repository as will talked about it in the last slides, there are some difference when we talk about Git and GitHub, but yeah, majority part are even same. So now stage means saving your changes so they are ready to be added to your branch, and you will use git commit dash m and then the commit message to add changes to your branch. And when you are ready to push your local changes to your repository, you will use git push, right? So dash m is a flag for message. That means, like you can see, um, that means whatever comes after dash and is a message explaining your commit, right? So these all practices can give you a whole bunch of experience of how the you can say all collaboration and teamwork goes on in the practical world, right? So basically you will learn something in the practical manner to enhance your knowledge, and it's something like a comment. And after that, push is something like add the changes on your computer to your GitHub repository. And these are some of the key terms that helps you to understand. And yeah, you can make a pull request and have your PR merged on GitHub like before, and you can pull changes from GitHub to your local repository as the same. So you might feel a little confused by commenting, staging, and pushing your changes, right? So let us explore a visual representation. It's probably not my desk, okay? So I just got it through online. So yeah, and so first of all, let us talk about working directory. This is our working directory, and where the writing happens. This is something similar to coding and saving your work here. And then we have you can say our staging area, like when you're happy with a group of changes, and when you're happy with your changes, you just stage them there or stack them there. And like once you're done with all these stuffs, here is our repository. And when you're happy with your commits or the work you have done, you commit them to the main repository. So once again, this is not my desk, okay? And here's another visual representation of what you just saw. So we have a working directory, your workspace or local on your machine, where you get add to staging for the staging, like for saving your draft in the staging area. And once you are happy, you can get committed to the final repository, and or even you can say permanent repository. So great, let's try it in practical manner, right? So let me just check this. Yeah. Okay, so we were talking about first we'll need to create a repository on GitHub and then work with it locally, right? So just go to your profile homepage and just click new, and it will create your repository. So at that moment, you should just enter your repository name that you want to add some description for it. It's optional, but and then you can check the set up the availability of you viewing public or private according to your requirements, and then you can initialize the repository with a readme file that what I recommend. And then if you are in development area, I would recommend to have gitignore file and even a license, since gitignore file says something that if you have something some stuffs that you can't share and that are private data, so .getignore helps you to do the same. And a license helps you to don't get your for getting your copyrights for the project, right? So if this were a code project, you would usually add a .gitignore file, as I probably mentioned before, and then you can create a repository by clicking on that button, that is create repository. And then you will be redirected to the homepage of for your new repository. So just click on clone or download and just copy the URL that is provided here as the same it would be, and then click the clipboard and copy it and back to the terminal or git bash and just enter git clone and the URL that you have. And after that it would show something like cloning into repository name and etc, right? Even I can't I can't remember these things. This is something different. Yeah, but it's even normal, I guess. But yeah, let us leave it. And then it's important to note that you did not simply download the code, right? So you cloned a Git repo. This means a Git repo comes with a special folder called .git, right? So you don't need to know a lot about this folder, but just keep in mind that it connects your local project to the project on your GitHub. And this means if you delete this dot get file, it would be something like your connection will be lost from your git this git repository to the github repository, meaning your local files to the github repository, right? So let's make some changes in your clone project, right? We won't be waiting for something like just seeing what's going on, right? So note, if you did not name your repo hello world, it should show something other than this, and just enter cd and then your repository name. Okay. Okay. Yep. So and like we are going to make some changes, and just for now leave it, and you can do these things through some of these commands. And even there are some like entering your code editor's name and it would do the same. And yeah, then you can do some stuffs like this, and then just do git status for seeing the status of it, and then just commit your with the first commit message, and then yeah, just git push for contributing in your project. And in between it would show a password, and it will need to configure again github username and password. So yeah, just do this, and while you are entering password, it it won't be you can say it won't be viewable to anyone, even you. But even though after that you will need to just click on enter and it would work. So yeah, that's how it works. And just select compare and pull request at your GitHub, and just make the pull request there, and name your pull request appropriately. Then select create pull request, and yeah, that's something we are likely done up with. So let us have a quick recap of it. Like, Git is a version control system allowing you multiple people to collaborate, and GitHub adds features to Git and provides a web interface, right? And command line Git lets you propose changes without the web interface.